I'm Dipesh Patel, editor at Trade Finance Global, and today we're in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia at the World Economic Development Forum. Right now, Rabab Fatima, the Under-Secretary General and High Representative for least developed countries, landlocked developing countries and small island developing states at the United Nations, is speaking. Want to hear more? Rabab Fatima is here now talking about green transitions from domestic farming practices towards organic food and the role digital ecosystems can play. Rabab, over to you.
Excellencies, organic food has gained increased importance in international trade. This is nearly a $500 billion market now. North America and Europe account for most of the sales of organic products, with 90% of the market share. Total organic sales in the US have reached a record $67.6 billion last year in 2022. Major markets for organic products are growing at rates of 10 to 15% every year. And this trend will endure and grow in the coming years. Consumers are gradually realizing the importance of organic products for the environment, human health, and sustainable ecosystem. Despite huge challenges, the LDCs, LLDCs, and the states are yet to tap the full potentials of vibrant organic farming sector. This requires a major transition in domestic farming practices. Furthermore, entry into the external market is also cumbersome. Regulations and certifications are a major hurdle for organic exporters, and thus governments and financial institutions will need to be more supportive to green transitions of these farms and help them emerge as successful traders of organic foods, where there is a great potential in all these countries. Excellencies, global exports of digitally delivered services reached $3.82 trillion in 2022. This represents nearly four-fold increase in value since 2005, rising by 8.1% per annum on an average. This also represents a 54% share in total global services exports. However, growth in Africa and in least developed countries continue to lag, with Africa holding less than 1% share of digitally delivered services exports in 2022. Digitalization reduces many of the entry barriers to international trade facing MSMEs and startups in the LDCs, LLDCs, and the SIDS. It significantly reduces the transport costs that serve as a major hurdle for LLDCs. During the pandemic, this sector has seen a major boom. However, growth was uneven. While developed countries could turn to digital platforms to continue business during the lockdowns, this was not an option for most businesses in the LDCs, LLDCs, and the SIDS. Development partners need to provide additional and substantial support to promote digital trade and e-commerce of these countries. Excellencies, the LDCs, LLDCs, and the SIDS, comprising 92 of the most vulnerable countries, are truly marginalized in the global trading system. The share of exports of each of these groups is below 1% of the total global trade. Their marginalization is further widened in the new global trading landscape. To address their marginalization, a comprehensive measure needs to be put in place through special and differential treatment. Excellencies, next year we will have the third conference of the landlocked developing countries and the fourth conference of the small island developing states. There will be important opportunities to address many of these issues as we agree upon a new development framework for these two groups of countries. We had good discussions on the LLDCs yesterday, and I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate and thank Mongolia for its leadership on placing the LLDC's issues high on the global agenda. Thank you, Mr. President. Excellencies, allow me now to make a few specific points. First, we need to build the trade capacity of these countries at a massive scale. Building infrastructure, connectivity, simplified customs procedures and regional integration are vitally important. Promoting investment in productive sectors, improved value addition and diversification into higher value-added products, and exports of services presents an important avenue for them to build resilience to external shocks, including commodity price fluctuations. Equally important is to support women-led businesses to create an inclusive business environment for all and unleash the transformative power of women. Second, LDCs, LLDCs and the SIDS need support to build the digital ecosystem to gain access to e-commerce. This includes support for building and gaining access to adequate energy infrastructure, access to internet, digital infrastructure including Wi-Fi connectivity, fintech including mobile banking, and developing transparent and fair regulations and promoting personal data protection. Third, Excellencies, Aid for Trade initiative can help to build climate-resilient trade capacity and infrastructure and support trade policies to foster transition to green economy and organic productions to compete with other developing countries. Fourth, sustainable and resilient developing and transition to green economy require access to modern technologies, including renewable technologies. Therefore, developed countries need to facilitate technology transfer at affordable cost to these countries at concessional and affordable terms. Implementation of TRIPS Article 66.2 is critically important in this regard. Fifth, LDCs, LLDCs and SIDS need technical assistance, including under the technical barriers to trade and sanitary and phytosanitary agreements, TBT and SPS agreements, to help them meet organic standards in international markets, as well as to participate in international standard-setting bodies. Sixth, the critical role of the private sector in expanding trade is important. They are the producers, traders, and consumers of traded goods. It is important to put specific attention to enhancing their capacities, and I commend the work of the ITC in improving the productive capacities and competitiveness of the MSMEs. Finally, Excellencies, there is an urgent need to enhance financial and technical support to implement the Trade Facilitation Agreement of the WTO. Research by the World Economic Forum suggests that the WTO's Trade Facilitation Agreement implementation could trigger a 60% to 80% increase in cross-border small and medium enterprises sales. I would like to call upon all partners and stakeholders to come forward to support the countries in need, but those who have tremendous potentials, and we all agree with that, they have tremendous potentials, with their assistance to integrate into the global trading system and reap the full potentials offered by trade, including the new and emerging frontiers of it. I look forward to a fruitful discussion and successful completion of the forum, and I would like to thank you again for your kind attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Her Excellency Ms. Rabab Fatima.